Hello, hello there. This is Strategic Change Guide podcast, and it's Motivation on Monday by Jim and Lucy. Today we have this subject that many of us already have in your minds and thinking overnights every morning or late at night, waking up and thinking about that because you know what? New Year is coming and you will be working on your New Year resolutions. So today we do have a tips for you how to make your New Year resolutions work.
Yes, in fact, as we've discussed before, that the New Year's resolution is really just an arbitrary date that people set in their mind that this is the beginning of the new January 1st, that I can start out and do something different. But in reality, you don't really feel any different at all when January 1st comes along. It's just something that we show on the calendar that is good for us to start with. But if you recognize you have a change to make, and it's a significant change in your work, your behavior, your relationships, whatever, then why wouldn't you want to do it just right now? And that way give you a jump on everybody else. So only 45% of us typically make, according to Statistic Brain, make New Year's resolutions that we actually want to stick. Most of us make them, but we really don't care about them. We're kind of wishy-washy about those things to begin with. So why is it the reason that they don't stick, or why is it they don't succeed? Or why is it that somehow they lose their efficacy, that they lose their power? We get the pencil and paper out come prior to January 1st, and we sit down and do these goals every year. Then come January 31st or February, we've forgotten about them, and we were waiting now anxiously for something again. We're going to lose weight, but we put it off and put it off and put it off. Well, there's a reason why this happens. Because what happened is that we want to lose weight, we want to get organized, we want to spend less and save more. We want to enjoy life to the fullest, make more room for our relationships, our family, or even especially among ourselves. And we want to stay fit and healthy. Who doesn't want to do that? But there's a large-scale changes that can be accomplished with one simple habit tweak. So we say that I'm going to do one or two things, and that's going to make a habit. And I'm going to change the routine, and I'll be able to make this happen for the whole year or forevermore. But it's going to require a new set of rituals, a new set of routines, a new set of habits for all those things to develop. And that's where changing comes into action, rather than saying, I have an affirmation and I'm going to make this happen on January 1st. You're going to make a lot of changes. We can help you with that. So while someone mentioned to me about while researching one of their books, what they decided to do was make some significant changes that they knew had to have some inconsequential beginnings. And just think about it. I've often wondered to myself, why is it that babies ever think about walking when they fall and bump their heads to begin with, just by crawling and getting up and wanting to reach for something on the table? You think they get enough with the pain of bumping their heads or falling and chipping a tooth or something and say, I'm never going to do this. But they keep reaching out because they want to accomplish something. So think in terms of a big goal, not a small goal. Quit thinking small. I don't want you to make it too grandiose. But think of a big goal and tell yourself in small pieces, what do I have to do today to get up and start accomplishing this? One is you got to get up earlier. You're going to have to just get up, period. Open the blinds, step out the door, and make the call. Now, I have to tell you that when we first started this business over 20-some years ago, I had given a business plan to a man, and I want to tell you something ahead of time. I didn't have one single contact in the whole world. Nothing was up. It was not a perfect time. I didn't have a job with money saved up. We were dead broke, and I had given my business plan to a man to look at. I didn't want any money. He was going to look at it. He agreed that he was going to do so and just give me some feedback on it, which that I was making the right direction or not. So I went to his house after I called him ahead of time to see if it were ready for me to pick up, and I'm hoping he'd have jotted in the margins direction that I might take on my business plan. I got to his doorstep. He knew I was coming. The business plan was on the doorstep. His Mercedes-Benz were multiple, 2 or 3 of them were outside. I could hear he and the kids inside the house playing, and he didn't come to the door. I was crushed. I had 5 miles to drive back home, and on the drive back home, I wondered, what am I going to do next? And so I stood in the kitchen when I got home, and everybody were gone to school or they're gone to work. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do with my life? I had to do something. I had to make something happen. And saying at the end of the day that I did my best was not going to cut it. And right now, even if you have a job that's paying the bills, I want you to recognize that you don't have another time, another chance to sit around thinking, well, I have everything cut out and designed for me right now, and I don't have to worry about it. You do have to worry about it, because there's no guarantee that tomorrow morning you walk into work that you're going to have the same job, because robots are trying to take your job, and that's what they're supposed to be. And you got to make it happen. So somehow I pulled my pants up higher, tightened my belt, and I got on the phone and made a cold call to a Fortune 500 company, something I had never done in my entire life. And within moments, before we even had a business name, I got on the phone and got the vice president of world operations, who just happened to be in his office that day, and he gave me a contract. So I'm telling you right now, do you have the guts to do that? You're going to have to find it. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, and it's scary. But I did it, and that's what launched us. So I'm telling you right now, with your New Year's resolutions, you make them big, and you make the tiny steps to get there. You create the rituals that you're going to lose weight. You're going to have to go to the gym, and you're going to have to cut back on what you've been eating.
That's exactly correct. And you know, the biggest confusion with New Year's resolution, people think of it as something symbolic. That you have this piece of paper where you wrote down something, and basically it's nothing, because you either wrote down the dream or you start putting on a paper some plan of action, maybe. But often it's actually the mix of the dream and some actions, what you want to do, but that's not often converts into the action and into reality because of tiny simple things. If you've been to my coaching session, at least one, you know what is it. And that's very simple, because A, you have a dream, you need to write it down, you need to visualize it. B, when you have this dream, you analyze what you have now. What do you have now? What resources? What skills? What else? What support system? All of it. So, this is your point A and point B system. From point A to point B, what do you have and where you want to be? You draw the strategy. How are you going to get there? And based on the strategy, you form the plan of tasks and actions, what you need to do in order to follow this strategy in order to get to that point B, to achieve your dream. That's how New Year resolution fails, because people think of it as something symbolic. Then you put on the paper your big dream, or you put on the paper your small task, or a mix of those things. That's why it doesn't work, because it simply can't. It should be a system, and as Jim said, it should be a routine. And those routines, those are based on the strategy. You simply take your tasks that based on the strategy, and you convert those tasks into routines. Obviously, there are many routines that we are dealing with every single day, and many of them are not very pleasant, but we just have to. And one of the past very popular episodes of this podcast is actually about routines and how can you cope with routines, how you make it efficient. And you can find a way. You need to find a way to motivate yourself, self-motivation, motivation, all those things in order to make your routines work. You need to keep your tasks organized. So when you have the strategy to move you to the dream, you put this plan based on the strategy, and this plan you convert into tasks. And you need to plan for every single day, 4 tasks a day, no more. And those 4 tasks a day, you pick the biggest one, the one you less want to do, and you do it first. That's how it works. Actually, pretty soon, next week, there will be our WKG strategy planner coming out. The paperback, you can order it, and it helps you organize everything precisely every single day. It was developed on our unique system, so it will help you too. So now you know why New Year resolutions can fail and how you can avoid it. It is very simple but difficult at the same time, difficult only because we get distracted, we get sucked out on other routines and other things because we're always busy. It's always a lot of things to do, and it's always a lot of informational noise around us. You open your Facebook, you go through newsfeed, you read all of this, like friends, and you're doing all of this, but you're not doing things to move you closer to your dream. That's the problem. Exactly. So that's what you need to fix. And this is how you make your New Year 2020 resolution work. Just imagine it will be 2020's year. Coming very soon. Are you ready? Have you summarized this year? Have you planned next one? We can help you on this. Reach out, lucy@woodscarelovergroup.com. We always ready to help you because you deserve to live better life.
All right. We give you some tips and strategies here, and one of the best ways to do it right now is to work with Lucy. What you have right now, you can put together and work with yourself. If you want to go faster, accomplish your goals faster, and overcome the hiccups and the stumbling blocks that you might have in yourself, because there's a reason we haven't accomplished some things we wanted as goals. You ask yourself, when you look at the goals that you're setting up for this coming year, are those some of the same goals you set last year, the year before that, and the year before that? Have they changed much? And why didn't you reach them? We have the strategies and the motivation to get you where you want to get to. So reach out to Lucy. She'll help you.